Hey, this is Glenn with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. The title of this video, why you should buy as many storage auction units as you possibly can. Not for the reason that you think. The first time that I stretched myself and bought 10 units in a week, and I really stretched myself. I was sore for 2 weeks after that because 10 units is 10 moves. It's a lot of freaking stuff. But I learned something. If you're in this game, you know that you'll buy a unit and you'll need something. You know, you'll get a bedroom set, but the screws aren't there. You'll get a bedroom set, but the rails aren't there, or the slats aren't there. There's something missing that you will need to make that sale. Well, I bought these 10 units, and the first unit that I cracked open had a very nice twin and full bunk bed set. And it was blue, and twin on top, the full bed on the bottom, which is very desirable. Those are hot sellers. But no screws. The mattresses, they were so clean, they smell new. Easy sell. I know I can get $200 for it, no problem. But I needed the screws. And when you're selling something like that, you have to make sure that it's set up before you sell it, because you could tell someone, yeah, all the parts are included, but in their mind, this isn't new. This isn't new. Can't go back to Walmart and get my money back if parts are missing. So you need to prove to them before they even see it that it is complete. And I was like, okay. But I had bought 9 other units. So there was another, I remember there was a bunk bed set, twin and twin, not, twin and full, but the screws were actually in a little plastic baggie taped to one of the frames. And bam, they matched up. So I took from that bedroom set to move the nicer set, because that set was kind of ratty. The frame was all scratched up. I ended up having to paint it because it was just horrible. It was really horrible. It's like some just dragged it across the concrete. No one was really going to pay good money for that because of the aesthetics. So I fixed that. And then other things started to pop up because the projects I was working on, I was always working on projects. See, this is why you need space, because understand that when people move their stuff and they do a self-move, they're not professional. They get their friends. They may be drinking beer. Their friends getting tired. Bam, they may drop this. Compression damage. All kinds of stuff happens. So you have to become a master craftsman to be successful. I always had some kind of projects. Everyone would try to buy my tool set because I had this really nice Mac tool, rolling toolbox. Super nice with all my tools and everything. Because if you're going to be in a volume state in this business, you're going to be fixing a lot of stuff, and you're going to need tools. But to the title of this video, why you should buy a lot of units, as you buy, you get the stuff that you need to fix things and actually help your business. And as they say on the west side, you get it for the low, because I got that Mac toolbox. No one saw it, because if they had saw it, it would have been bananas. It would have been bananas. It was not in the back, but it was to the side toward the middle. But there was boxes of stuff so you couldn't see it. But if they had saw that thing, oh my God, it would have been stupid. Because I think the toolbox itself was $3,000 just for the toolbox. Mac, Snap-on, and there's another one. Like Craftsman is good, but Mac and Snap-on, those two, man, that's the truth. That is the truth right there. And everyone tried to buy my toolbox, which I sold when we closed down the warehouse. But you're going to need this stuff, and you're going to get it so much cheaper if you get it out of a unit. And this is why, if you're in the business and you're serious, you need to kind of get to know people and also get to know property managers. And especially if you new, get as much scavenged stuff as possible, because it's out there. This is the summer. I'm telling you right now. Listen to the sound of my voice. This is the summer. What does that mean? Students and people living in apartment complexes and people buying homes, there's an amazing amount of churn from May to August. Starts dropping off significantly September, October, November. People move year round. But those are the months that you have the most moves, the most stuff going on. With all of that churn, you have a lot of people leaving stuff on the property of storage facilities. You have a lot of people walking away from you. This is the time of the year to stack up and get deals. And I'm telling you, if you're serious, because I know there's a lot of fear, because the fear is not that you're not smart enough. That's not it. People do not want to make a commitment to something like this because if you get more space, you're actually going to have to sign your name on a dotted line. You're going to have to actually prove some resources. It gets real at that point. But if you want to make real money, you're going to have to get real in the business because, sure, you can hit a good lick here and there and, make 2 to 3, 4 grand a month. If you're really on top of your game, you can kind of be there. But you're going to bam, you're going to hit that ceiling. You're not going to really go any further. And you're going to reach a point of diminishing returns and you're going to start to get frustrated. Because one of the biggest things that I hear from people in emails is, I got money, but I don't have space because I bought stuff and it hasn't sold yet and I can't get anything else. To the video I put up the other day, space is the #1 problem you're going to have. You're going to think, it's money. No, it's not money. If you got enough space, you can find enough free stuff to make money. That was a serious tip there for some of you who are like, I'm broke. I don't have anything. I have no money. You can get money. If you really want money, you can get money. Because there's so many people. I need to take pictures on trash day in my neighborhood. It is ridiculous what people put on the curb. I mean, seriously. And the thing is, because I live in the Buckhead, Sandy Springs area. The scavengers are not over here like they were in my old neighborhood, because if like a nice sofa or something was on the corner, you could pull up your watch and go 30 minutes, gone. Here, I'll see the stuff for a day or two. So that's a tip for you if you're in Atlanta. Roll around Buckhead and Sandy Springs on trash day, which is Tuesday in most places. So I'm just letting you know. And Monday, there's a ton of garage sales. There's a ton of estate sales. And the weekend after those estate sales and garage sales, it would behoove you, if you have a truck, to roll around the neighborhood early Monday morning, or really, if you're a go-getter, Sunday. Sunday after 6, you might be amazed at what you would find, because I'm just sitting there like, when I go on my walk, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And I was like, hey, Glendon, why would you get that? I'm not in their business anymore. There's a reason I sold my house and I downsized, because once it gets in your blood, you start doing stuff like warehouse would be chock full and my ass would still be at auctions. Didn't make any sense. So I know me. If I get on that slippery slope of getting back into that business, these videos will stop. I'll be putting up a video once every 2 or 3 weeks because I'm out there doing deals and stuff. And, like I tell you, you have to take a chance. You have to really understand what you're doing, because, sure, I can get back in that business and make more money. But if I want to do this writing thing, I have to commit myself to it. I'm using that C word. And commitment is what's going to carry you through the rough spots, because, fortunately for me, I never had a high consumption lifestyle where I had to just have tons and tons of money because I was turned through it. So, I'm pretty cool. But getting with that and doing those type of things, you have to, I can't just say, hey, you should do this, and then I'm over here dabbling and doing this. I put all my eggs in the writing media bucket. That's where they are. And I've been riding that bucket for almost 3 years. But that's the deal. I can't be like saying one thing then doing another. Because if I'm out there, and also it's funny because I am going to go to some auctions this summer just to see what I think is going to happen. Because the heat's about to hit, and you're going to see those crowds, because you might see people early in the morning where it's cooler, but as that heat starts to climb, you're going to start seeing people drop off like flies. If it gets hot, because right here, looks like it may be a mild summer in Georgia, but I don't know. But essentially, when you buy units, you get things that you really have not even thought about that can help you. You could trade stuff out. You can essentially, because this is one of the problems with people getting into this business, because I keep track of a lot of forums and stuff, and I don't contribute because it's just like my name comes in there and the people are like, oh no, he's the evil one who cusses people out. I kind of like that. But I see people who've been in forums and I see their names and and it's been almost like a year and they're just buying their first unit. It's been a freaking year and they're just buying their first unit. And I'm like, wow, really? A year and you getting your first unit? So what I'm telling you is, the sooner you start buying, the sooner you start learning, the sooner you start increasing your knowledge base, the sooner you start that process where you're going to become okay to good to great. Because you can sit there and watch all these videos, and you can buy my books, and you can do all this stuff, but if you don't take the knowledge and apply it and actually risk some money, risk some of your own money, it pretty much means nothing. Nothing at all. You're only going to go so far. And I speak from experience. There were people who were in the storage auction game way before I even thought about it. Some of those people were in the game 10 years, 15 years before I even got in. And I started outdoing them in a year or two. Why? Volume. The more that I bought, the quicker that I learned. Let me say that again. Volume. The more that I bought, the quicker that I learned. And was it easy? No. Was it painful? Yes. Did I lose my ass on some units? Sure did. But I kept at it, because this is the thing. If you go out and you have a bad experience on the auction trail and you lose money and you stop, the lessons that you learned, you can't really apply them on the next unit because you're not buying the next unit. Because I noticed there were some guys here who were heavy hitters who I would see them lose their ass on units, but next week they'll still be out there buying, And also check their personal life. Because one guy, every time I turn around, he was on freaking vacation. How can you be losing money yet you're going on vacation? That don't make sense. I'm like, unless you're not really losing money. And as I check certain people, because this is the little secret that a lot of folks won't tell you about the storage auction business. If you buy enough, you can never lose. It's true. If you buy enough, you will never lose, because the more you buy, the luckier you become. That's the thing. That's why there's so many people that I laugh at who are like, about 1 unit, about 10 units in a year, about 20 units in a year. When you get to a certain level, whatever that level may be for you and your business and your location, it gets real hard to lose, because I remember going back to the 10 units, I had enough inventory to sell for the whole month. I didn't run out of stuff. I was still going to auctions, picking up stuff. But, that's when I really saw money starting to turn. Because what many of you want to do is buy a unit, sell everything, or parlay that money into the next unit. But this is the thing that's going to kill you. Great units can pop up anytime. So while you bought that 1 unit or 2 units and you're milking it for every last penny and you're not out there, you could actually miss a unit that would pay for that unit in the next 20 because you're not out there. One of the reasons that my business model was so successful was my role was logistics and acquisition. I was always buying. I was always out there. I was always looking. I was always sourcing inventory, because you have to feed the beast. And another reason I say don't open up a store. Once you open a store, you got to feed this beast. But if you're running the store, who's getting the inventory? You can't have one without the other. And I've seen people try it. They go out and get inventory, and the store's closed. To me, that's dead money, because you're paying rent on that sucker 24/7. It needs to be making you money all the time. So this whole thing about the whole business model, you go buy and sell that stuff and parlay that money in. I said it before, and I'll say it again. You need to have a solid operating budget. You have to have an operating budget to really move your business forward. Because as long as you're dibbing and dabbing, $100 here, get $300, it's going to be real hard for you to move to the next level. It's virtually impossible. I've watched people who had more knowledge than I did in the storage auction game. They were out there longer than I was. But they didn't realize my success, and it wasn't because they weren't smart enough. It was because they didn't have the courage to build a business. Because you hear it all the time. It's like, I don't want that overhead. I don't want that responsibility. What they're saying is, I don't want the money that comes with that overhead and responsibility. Because to be successful, you're going to have a certain level of overhead if it's nothing more than, 3,000-4,000 square feet as a warehouse. I'm telling you, because as I put in another video and I was watching Storage Wars, and it was just funny that, Daryl's got a warehouse now. Dave was driving up to his warehouse. Brandy and Gerard have not quite figured that out yet. But they're making a grip from episode fees, so it doesn't really matter, because I noticed they had this 300. This Chrysler 300. Then they went up to the F250, which is not cheap, even used. Then now they're in the Cadillac ST. I'm just like, okay, that ain't coming from the store. They ain't coming up from the store. And I've never been to an auction in California, but I don't know what they roll up in, because I made a mistake of going to the auction a few times in my BMW, and I was like, I'll never do this again. You bring too much attention to yourself. You're better off being really low key, showing up in the truck. Truck's like, hey, he's a working guy. You have no idea how much money this guy has. But you roll up in a 530, 540, and it's shiny, creates problems. That's actually how, which it's probably gone now, but that's how that chick was like, you gonna be my baby's daddy? I was like, no, I don't think so. Someone else already got the privilege of knocking you up. I'm not going to get the responsibility of the cleanup. That's madness to me. But simply put, you have to expand your horizons and your business to expand your money. Straight up. All right, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions.